I am very curious to hear y'all's thoughts about this film in particular because I think it's a good example of how there can be a fatal flaw in the premise of a film that makes it I was just so uncomfortable the whole time because it's just like a very uncomfortable premise, right? Like these two actors, wonderful actors. And Jennifer Lawrence is a great comedic actress. I feel like I don't often get to see her in comedic roles. I feel like I've always thought she was a wonderful actress, but I feel like I typically see her in like very, very serious dramas. And so it was a little bit jarring at first to like hear her like cursing so much and like being kind of like a raunchy comedy vibe. But I think more than that, it was just this film was it's like an uncomfortable film. Like the premise is very creepy, and like they would never make this film if the gender roles here were reversed, because this type of age gap is very like predatory and scary. So that's like kind of thing one. And I feel like the actors have been like, very honest about acknowledging that. And I feel like the way that they responded to it made sense, where they're like, we like position it as creepy, like the film doesn't condone what they're doing, like it's supposed to be seen as bad, which I think is, I mean, I guess like given the circumstances, the best thing you can hope for them to say. And I don't think it's the actor's fault, right? It's like it's never like when actors get attached to big projects, like even really famous people, it's like they're not the ones who like have written and made this film. It's like the people who write and direct it, right? Like these are the people who are, the most in charge of like the storyline, not Jennifer Lawrence. It's like the same thing with like Cal Drogo, like, obviously like Jason Momoa wasn't like, woohoo, I get to like be a misogynist, like violence towards women on Game of Thrones. He was like, he's even talked about how it makes him so uncomfortable when people are like, why would you do that role? He's like, the actor has so little power on set. Like, even if you're famous, Emilia Clarke wasn't like, woohoo, I get to like burn down King's Landing, you know what I mean? And like totally tank my, the hearts and minds of bajillions of Game of Thrones fans around the world. That wasn't like her decision. It was like the writer's decision. So I think that it's always important too to like with these types of conversations remove the blame from the stars, because it's like the stars have very little control, even if they have a pretty good understanding of what the script is going to be. Like I don't think Jennifer Lawrence, if she had known the context with which this would be received, like would have taken this movie. Like she seems like she's a very astute person. That being said, it's like, wow, can't believe this got made. Like such a fascinating film, and yeah, just super uncomfy. And it also like made me sad. Like it was like, maybe, I don't know, maybe it was my like Lexapro, because I'm like slowly weaning off of Lexapro. But I just had the weirdest feeling afterwards where I felt like kind of just like empty inside. Like I don't know. I feel bad to like, I never want to give like a bad review to a movie. Like there were parts of it that were really funny, and like they're both like incredible actors, and like there were parts of it that were like it's like it's cool to see like J Law in a comedy like this, and I hope that she'll be in like lots of like fun raunchy comedies going forward. I think I just left the film also just thinking about like how it's so weird how like exploited women are in cinema. Like she has this like very, very long nude scene in which she like comes out of the ocean, like fights these people. And I don't know, I've just heard her talk in interviews before about how like her body has become like such a commodity in the industry, and how she like people like touch her inappropriately, and like I don't know, it just made me feel really sad. And I was like, wow, this pressure that like actresses have to like, where they have to kind of, I don't know, maybe it was like one of those things where she was like fully in control and like did it as like an empowering thing. But I just was like, damn, like I feel like I don't like when I feel like women are like forced into these kind of exploitative situations. So all around the film just kind of had like an icky vibe, because it's like one kind of like a creepy premise, and then it's like I felt just like bad for her that she was like stuck in this like creepy premise film. And then I just felt bad for her because I know she's like her career's kind of had a little bit of a stall the past few years, and like after Red Sparrow it seems like she kind of just had a few films that weren't received very well. And like Red Sparrow was so good if it just wasn't so violent. Like that film was like, it had such interesting elements. Like I love spy dramas, you know me, and I really felt like it could have been a much better film had it not just been so creepy and violent. It's like this weird, I don't know what it is. It's like, I can't think of the right word, but yeah, I feel like after that, and then she had Causeway, which I don't know, wasn't very, I guess I shouldn't say, like there were some parts of it that people really loved, and it was like a beautiful dramatic performance, but wasn't necessarily like the star coming back, like star vehicle type of thing to like reignite one's career. She was in that Leonardo DiCaprio film Don't Look Up, in which I think she did an excellent job. And I don't know, just kind of rambling, but yeah, this film kind of just left me with like a very queasy feeling. I'm wondering if people saw it, if they agree. I just kind of feel like at some point during the production, like things like this shouldn't like go on. Like this type of script, I feel like someone should be like, oh, hey, this is like really weird and predatory. Like maybe we shouldn't make it. But that's just me. What do I know?